Well, good evening, everybody. This is going to be a rather interesting triage, I suppose you would call it, of information that I'm going to be presenting tonight. This has been a rather interesting week. Started off with a rather interesting debate that took place over on Telegram, and the people over there were twisting themselves in a pretzel trying to uh, divert or otherwise uh, mitigate the female photo that Randy Erickson claimed to have gotten from Alexander Goddard. Now, I kind of screwed up a little bit. The first thing I did is somehow I kept mentioning Jacob Waterling, and that was a mistake on my part. This is not about Jacob Waterling at all. Uh, yes, Timmy has intervened in that case, but this is not what we're talking about here. And second of all, based on the way that Timmy wrote about this image and other factors, I had assumed that he had come to the conclusion that it was Summer Wells in that image. And apparently, it's not, at least according to him and these people that spent a long, long time arguing with me, twisting themselves into a pretzel and saying he did not say that. So, okay, I'm going to let it go. I'm wrong. He didn't declare that it was Summer Wells. Fine. But there's other things here that kind of make me wonder why the Summer Wells case got mentioned at all. Now, the original story was that it is alleged that Alex Goddard sent Randi Erickson a photograph of a female with a small vagina. Hate to keep using that word, but that's what we're talking about here. And that there was no public hair in the area. So, how did Timmy know all this? Well, apparently, he's declaring that he did not see the image, that Randi did not transmit the image, and his examination of the image was purely based on what Randi told him the picture was. To this day, Holmseth has not declared that he has seen the image. The only person that has seen the image is the person that allegedly sent it to Randi and Randi herself. Now, this whole episode began early in the month, quite early, almost 3 weeks ago, in the month of August. We're in September now. And from that date forward, no police report was filed with the FBI or the local law enforcement where Randi Erickson lives. Instead, she called a county sheriff in the state of Ohio. And the county sheriff told her, take it to the FBI. This is a federal crime. The FBI handles these things. And she didn't do it. So what was their next step? Well, a few days ago, Randi Erickson through Tim Holmseth. We haven't heard a word from Randi Erickson about any of this. She has not got on any social media under any known alias and spoke for herself. It's all been through Timmy or someone that writes under Timmy's byline. So what we have is close to 3 solid weeks that we can assume that Randi Erickson has been in possession of this image and had not turned it in to anybody. She had it on her device. Now, possession of pornography is not illegal. You can have all the pornography you want. It's one word in there that changes the whole dynamic, and that is child pornography. But we haven't established it's a child either, according to Timmy and Randi. It's an image of a female. They're saying that Alex claimed it was hers, even though they came out and said, no, it's too small. Alex is a big woman. She's fat. A lot of fat shaming going on. So, and as an extension, sure, and that is if, Alex Goddard originated the photograph, then she would have been in possession too. But you got to establish 2 things. Number one, you got to establish the image existed in the first place, and we don't know that. All we got is hearsay, hearsay, hearsay. Now, as of a couple days ago, I guess, I'm not exactly sure of the date, Timmy and Randi claimed to have gone to the Tenneessee Bureau of Investigation. Not sure which office. You got Memphis and you got Nashville. Because of the case, it would have probably been Memphis. But if they went to Nashville, so be it. But they went to one of the 2 of them. Took a nice picture of the big TBI mural in the middle of the floor, and they took a picture of the building. And that was about it. Oh, this is a weird one. They took a picture of someone wearing the visitors' passes for both of them. Timmy on one side, Randi on the other. And a curious thing that I still cannot understand, they redacted a line at the bottom of the visitor pass. Now, why'd they do that? What is on that visitor pass that's so important that they had to delete it? No logical explanation for that one. Love to hear that one. Now, there's the thing. They took the image, supposedly, and had an interview with 3 unnamed officials at the TBI. What happened to the image? Did they download it? Did they take the device that the image was on and examine the device itself? Or what? Very, very, very inconvenient or incomplete report on what happened to that image. Now, I have spoken to law enforcement about this. I say, what happens if somebody were to send me an image of a naked individual, female, even male, that looked like it might be a child? Or else, at least, it's an unsolicited pornographic image to me, along with an alleged conversation that took place with that image that I don't like and I want to report it. Very first thing out of the mouth out of 4 different law enforcement officers from 4 different agencies: bring the device to us. Let us download it. Let us examine your device and determine what jurisdiction is in place. Does this go to the local jurisdiction, the state, or the federal level? As far as I can tell, none of that was done. The TBI did not take the phone and dissect it because they can't do it in an hour. They have to have 2 or 3 days. So they would have had to surrender the device to the TBI, and let them examine it. Number 2, the TBI would have told them, take this to the FBI. This is a federal crime. And why are you bringing it here? Why is the TBI involved in this incident? Because, now remember, Tim Holmseth has denied that this is Summer Wells. Says it's not Summer Wells. The TBI is investigating the Summer Wells case. So by taking the device to the TBI, Tim Holmseth is declaring that this image has something to do with the Summer Wells case. Now, if you look at the blog and you look at the BitChute channel, you're going to see the image of Summer Wells plastered all over it. He's got at least a half a dozen images that, oh, somebody defied my warning. I told the people over there that they are not to come in here. And since he's here, fine. Miss Wells, they may be minor details, but this is evidence. Evidence. And they have to have every minute piece of information, details, if you want to call it, in order to find out if there's a case here. Because this is what has to happen. All right. Randi and Timmy go on a little drive down to the state of Tennessee. They go to TBI. They get themselves a visitor's passes. They sit down with 3 investigators. Randi says, some meanie sent me this image on my phone. Okay. TBI is going to look at the image. Somebody is going to make a determination. What the hell are we going to do here? We got an image of someone. We got to determine if it's a child. These people are sitting here talking to investigators that may or may not have something to do with investigating the disappearance of Summer Wells. Now, If they are at the TBI, this must have something to do with somewhere else. So what they're going to do is they are going to take the image and they are going to compare it to somewhere else, as best they have. I doubt they have a naked image of somewhere else somewhere that they can uh, find out if it's her or not, but they have one thing at their disposal: image searches. And not the kind where you go to Google and you go Google images and stuff. They have a special database that's run by the FBI out of Quantico, where if you have a picture of this nature, you take it, send it to Quantico. Quantico's big database of millions and millions and millions of pictures from porn sites that they are investigating, especially child porn, and they will, in a matter of minutes, tell them about that picture. So if somebody, whether it be the sender or whoever, got that image from somewhere and it's in the FBI database, TBI is going to know about it like that. So Jimmy didn't say a word about that. He didn't say what the TBI did. They just said they went to the TBI, they took a picture of the building and the little thing in the middle of the floor and their patches, and that's it. And we have a picture of an undershirt with the patches on it. We don't have a picture of Timmy's face. Randi is nowhere. You know, we're, these people are, they're like tourists. They go to these places, they take selfies. Where's Randi? Kind of interesting, but, fine. But the thing of it here is that you've got a procedure that goes through. You report the image goes through a preliminary investigative process. The investigators decide whether or not they're going to proceed any further. They notify the next level up, which is either the state attorney, county attorney, or a federal prosecutor. That is, one of those agencies looks at this and they see if there is probable cause to charge somebody with this image. And then it goes to, depending on the circumstances, it goes to a grand jury or just goes through the review by the attorney's office to determine if this is worth prosecuting. And to determine, this is going to be based on whether or not it's child pornography. And then it goes on from there. They start calling in witnesses. They're gonna, they're gonna bring in Tim and Randi for another interview. They would probably contact Alexander Goddard and interview her to find out what the hell is going on here. And then at that time, if it's decided that they're going to prosecute, then it goes from there. And this is going to take a while. So Timmy's going to be able to get on the air and brag about this, and so are his minions, for probably 6 to 8 months, if ever. Because you don't go into an office and say, this person sent me this picture, and they go right down to Ohio and arrest the woman. This isn't CSI whatever, where within an hour you've got a crime committed, crime investigated, and a crime solved, and the person put in jail in an hour, minus commercials. Doesn't happen that way. It takes 2-3 years. Look at how long it took to get the Cynthia Absug case cleared up. And look how long it's going to take to get the case down here in Florida with Neely Blatchard. Well, interrupt my diatribe here. Mittens seeking attention. So, hi. All right, go play. Cats, kittens, cats, whatever. They love attention. And yeah, this cat's like a boomerang. It comes right back. Getting back here. So anyway, we get this big explosion. They get down to TBI and they start this horse crap. So that by doing so, however, they have associated Summer Wells with this picture, if not directly. Because if it's not Summer Wells, there's no point in going to the TBI. There is nothing about this case that ties that image to Summer Wells unless it is Summer Wells. Now, yeah, they get on some wild thing about they're accusing Alexander Goddard, along with half the United States, as being involved in child trafficking, and that's the reason they went to the TBI. They ain't gonna fly. TBI is gonna, all right, we'll take it, put it in a file, and that's gonna be it. They're not gonna investigate this crap. They ain't got time for that. They have specifically come out on their website and said, do not send us gossip. Do not sit there and play games with this case. We don't want you to do that. And if you persist, we're going to throw your ass in jail, because they are getting hundreds of leads a day, hundreds of them. And 99.9% of them are people just like Randi and Timmy sending them bullshit, sending them crap that has absolutely nothing to do with the case. They want to find this little girl, and if there's been a crime committed, they want to prosecute the people. They don't want to waste time running around, getting involved in the middle of an internet pissing match, which is exactly what's going on here. Tim Holmseth doesn't like Alex Goddard, and he's having a big pissing match over it. And he's running around wasting law enforcement's time with crap. Now, this is the thing. Randi Erickson has a legal address in the state of Minnesota. That is who she be talking to. The Anaconda, or however you pronounce it, Sheriff's Department in Minnesota. Either that, or you go to the state attorney, or you drive about 40 minutes south to Indianapolis, or Minneapolis, to the FBI office down there, and you talk to them. You don't talk to the TBI, and you don't talk to the state of Ohio. The crime happened to a resident in the state of Minnesota. That is where you file your complaint. And the state of Ohio told her, the sheriff in the state of Ohio told her that. He said, take it to the FBI and let them handle it. It's a federal crime. Nothing has been said to the FBI to this date. He hasn't mentioned the FBI at all in relation to this image. It's all been the TBI. And again, if it is not Summer Wells, why are you going to the TBI? The TBI does not handle cases outside the state of Tennessee. It's a state agency. It's like the FDLE in Florida. It's like the other investigative agency. You have a state investigation that handles things within the state. If it turns out to be a federal crime, the state will turn it over to the feds, which is exactly what would happen to that image if these people would follow proper procedure. And this is not the first time that they have complained about a picture. Now remember, very first week of August, they accused David Lester Straight of somehow, like to know how this happened, but somehow got naked pictures of Randi Lynn Erickson and declared that if he was arrested, he was going to have those pictures published. Now, what was not said is, what is David Lester Straight going to get arrested for? And why would he send out pictures of Randi Lynn Erickson if he got arrested? Nobody has explained that. They just declared that it happened. So what's going on here? Now, we have no logical explanation for this. So the only thing we can do now is wait and see what they come up with next. But they are going to milk this story for as long as they can, because the people over on Telegram believe everything they say. And this is another weird one. Now, you guys remember Whitey Bulger. Timmy Holmseth started down this road a long time ago. Came out with a thing. And as a matter of fact, uh, over on his, well, it's not on the high command, it's on his blog, I believe. But he has been swearing up and down, left and right, that I look like Whitey Bulger. And let's see, the 31st of August, he came out with a headline. Did the FBI pull a fast one on the American public? Florida Predator appears to be the man in the FBI sketch of Whitey Bulger. Now, this is the funny part. Whitey Bulger was arrested and put in prison. And there's mugshots and everything. He was also transferred to a prison in West Virginia. And within 24 hours, back in 2018, he was attacked and killed. At that time, at the time he died, he was 89 years old. Now, if you do some arithmetic today, if he was still alive, he would be 92 or 93. Now, I am 71 years old. On October 10th, I will be 72. Now, if I look like a 91-year-old guy and I'm 72 years old, I'm in pretty damn good shape. But that's not the case. It's bullshit. Just like everything else Timmy does, it's bullshit. Now, there's pictures that Tim Holmseth refuses to put up. Care to ask why? Now, this is Whitey Bulger in 1953. One of the earliest records of his incarceration. This is Whitey Bulger the last time he got a mugshot. Now, so look at that image carefully. Look at me. This is my side view. And look at Whitey. I guess he's my doppelganger. They are saying over on Telegram, I look like this dude. And Elizabeth Compton, I guess her name is, that's the bot name anyway this woman is using, has declared that she's going to take me to court and sue me to prove that I'm Whitey Bulger. So she's got all kinds of evidence to prove that I'm Whitey Bulger. Wow. That's interesting. But that's where we are, folks. For some reason, Tim Holmseth started this crap and said I looked like this guy. That the FBI pulled a fast one on the American public. I mean, they laid the guy out. You know, the guy's got blood all over the prison floor. They went and did an autopsy on him. They went and produced a death certificate. They even had a funeral for this guy. The family of Whitey Bulger tried to sue the prison because of the lax in security. You know, it's kind of weird that they sent this guy to a West Virginia prison, but they're saying it's me. Well, Catherine, it's up to David Straight what he wants to do. I don't care. How do you know I'm horrible to listen? You know, David Straight is welcome here. I will not bash David Straight. I will talk to David Straight specifically about the accusation. I have no interest in David Straight. David Straight was abandoned by Tim Holmseth. They threw him out to the wolves. But it's up to David Straight. But right now, the last time I checked, there has been no criminal complaint filed against David Straight at all. Not one. So, David Straight's probably said, screw it. I mean, he's not important. I'm not going to pay attention to this clown. So he can do what he wants to do. But I have, I may disagree with some things about David Straight, but I have nothing personal against him. He's free to do what he wants. Who the hell is Jason Voorhees? Hi, Jason Voorhees, whoever you are. But, Kathy, why are you even in here? Remember the little discussion that we had over on Telegram and how I said I don't want Timmy supporters in here, and that damn cat just screwed up my whole thing. Mittens, you're being a pain. I try to make the show presentable, and you go and climb all over it and wreck my show. Well, darn. Wow, boy, you really messed things up there, Mittens. My. I don't know what to do about this now. Whoo, man, that looks terrible. Let's see, where are we? Jeez. Let's see, all right. Now, trying to figure out. Because this is my. Yeah, it must be down here. Lord have mercy. Well, that's. Not sure what to do about that. That's the problem when you have a kitten. They get into everything and they kind of make things a bit. Oh, there it goes. Now you get to see my storage cabinet. I can just see the. Wow. Okay, that's my Walmart hat up there. Sorry about this, folks, but Mittens decided she wanted to crawl around on things and kind of destroyed my backdrop. But I don't know why I'm getting this shadow. But, all right, we're just going to have to do something else here. So we're going to move on to our next subject, and that is breaking developments about this character. Now, Tim Holmseth says he is an investigative reporter, and he had a lot of interest and still does in this case because he is, close. I'm going to have to redesign the set. I had this thing perfect, Lori, and the cat just destroyed it. Because all it is, who the hell is Jason Voorhees? And Kathy, do you have a problem with hearing? Do you have a problem with reading? Do you? Answer me that question. Were you not over in Telegram last night? And what did I say over in Telegram? Can you answer me that? You got a few minutes here because you're gonna wind up being thrown out of the room. I told you, and I told your minions over there, stay the hell out of this room. I am not going to Telegram anymore. So go back over to your little playpen. You guys can clickety your little keys over there, and you can accuse me of all kinds of shit, but you're not going to do it here. So goodbye, Kathy, and do not come back here again. You've been told. Bye. Jeez, I don't know. What is with these people? They've got this huge thing over on Telegram. They can go over there and they can play all they want. They monitor this channel, and they can gossip among themselves, lie all they want, but they come over to my chat. Why? Well, because I'm the center of their universe. They can't survive without me. They do this all the time. Every single solitary week, one of them comes in here. The National Army of Patriots. Oh, you're a domestic terrorist. Okay. But I keep telling these people, I don't want you in here. Go away. You know, they whine over there because I dared come into Telegram and talk about them. And they miss their everything. Now they're accusing me of saying that the image is child porn. How can I do that because I have not seen the image? Nobody has. I don't want to see the image. But Timothy Charles Holmseth implied something. Why did he go into so much detail about an image that he has not seen? It's a female with no clothes on, showing a picture of her sex organ. That's it. You don't know the age of the child. You don't know anything about the child. You don't know if it is child pornography or not. But what you don't do is wait 3 weeks to finally take it to authorities, and then you take it to a law enforcement agency that has nothing to do with the image. And yes, you think that child is a specific person. See, this is where this argument falls apart. He declares, no, it is not Summer Wells. We don't even know the age of the child. So why did you take it to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation? They don't have jurisdiction unless it is Summer Wells. People don't understand how things work. I went into this last week. Now, let's get back to the subject at hand. I really wish these people would stay over there. They have nothing to contribute, and they're useless. Now, as I said, that Tim Holmseth has not reported is that there's a lot of stuff going on with the Delphi case. And this all started about a week ago. This person here, Kagan Klein, is in jail right now awaiting trial for possession of child pornography. He's confessed to it. He had a website, or was on a website called Anthony Shots. And he would go on there and he would pretend to be this rich six-pack guy. Excuse me. And he would strike up a conversation with girls, young girls. Now, it is said that he communicated with one of the Delphi teenagers the night before the murder occurred. Okay. So, you've got this guy that lives about an hour from the bridge. He's been to this town many times. He knows the area. He knows the bridge. The sheriff's department in that county has stated that whoever did this is probably somebody local. Not somebody from out of state, not a truck driver passing through or whoever, somebody local. This guy is a lifetime resident of Miami County, Indiana. And he's got a rather weird past. So anyway, I'm trying to get something done here. Because I got sidetracked and lost all the okay. Now, one thing that happened. There is a podcast that is probably the one podcast that everybody goes to about the case. It's run by a couple local people. Oh, shush. Hope that audio didn't come through. But anyway, but this guy solicited sex in return for being interviewed. That's number one. He's in prison. One of the people from this YouTube channel wants to talk to him, do a podcast. I said, yeah. Well, if I'm going to do a podcast, I want sex. And when that didn't work, he says, well, I want money. You people are out there making money off of me being in prison. The food sucks here. A, B, C, D. I mean, he had one big pity party and said, okay, I want $400 for you to interview me. No, I ain't going to fly. But it made the news, and this happened a couple days ago. The report that showed up on the local TV station up there is the 27th. But something else happened. The people at this podcast got an anonymous tip. This is something else that Timmy didn't report on. I mean, one of his supporters did put up the court TV broadcast about this, but you got her facts wrong. The search that was going on happened at the Wabash River near where Mr. Klein lived in Peru, Indiana. He apparently disposed of a cell phone or a hard drive. This has been something that was reported for years, that there are things that he had, a cell phone and computer equipment, and the major thing is the cell phone. He told investigators that he lost the cell phone, got another one. He did give what material he had to investigators, which is why this guy is in jail, is because of those images. And they went and prosecuted him. He's in jail. Now, he was supposed to go through the pretrial process. But the defense, Mr. Klein's lawyer, went to the judge in Peru, Indiana, and said, Judge, we need a continuance. And the reason, turns out, is that the Indiana State Police temporarily took him into custody to question him. Now, this guy's already in jail. He's in jail for this other crime, waiting trial. They yanked him out of his cell, took him to an interrogation point, and interviewed him. And something else that the defense said in the hearing, which has not been reported on a certain investigative reporter site, is that the defense is negotiating with prosecutors in regards to Mr. Klein. Negotiating what? Is Mr. Klein on the verge of confessing to the murder of these two teenagers? Or is Mr. Klein going to pin this on somebody else and saying, I was along with him, I didn't realize what he was doing, and the murder happened? This is what is not being reported on this particular website. He'd rather say that I look like the bridge guy, or I look like Whitey Bulger, or all this other crap. He's no investigative reporter. So here we have all this breaking news about the Delphi murders, and they're over there talking about Whitey Bulger and the TBI and Summer Wells. So there you are. Now, as far as that image is concerned, yes, they're going to determine who it came from. And if it is a image in the public domain or if it is somewhere else. Who knows? But again, it's not the TBI. Why can't these people learn how things work? You don't go to the TBI, you go to where you live. You don't go to Ohio and the wrong police station to report this alleged crime. You go to where you live, period. And this is what I was told. I researched this for the last couple of days. I called various agencies to find out what the proper procedure is to report this kind of a crime. And they said it goes to where you live, the city, the county, the state. If it's a federal crime, you go to the FBI office near where you live. You don't go to an agency like the TBI unless you have got solid, reasonable evidence that there's a reason for the TBI to get involved with whatever. And going to them and saying that two people discuss the case on a YouTube channel ain't going to cut it. And again, the TBI has come out on their website. You can go to the tip site that they have for Summer Wells, and they'll say on there, do not send us gossip. Do not blame other bloggers and all this other stuff. We don't have the time. We want to find the child. We don't want to be chasing down false leads. They are wasting the taxpayers' money and they are delaying trying to find out what happened to this child because they have to take 5, 10, 20 minutes to sit there and talk to the Bonnie and Clyde running around in the car that think Alex Goddard sent them a pornographic image. They don't have time for that shit. If they cannot establish this, that's Summer Wells. They have no business talking to the TBI. They go through their home. She writes us up to the county where she lives in Minnesota. Is she going to avoid getting arrested? And tell them. I say, I got this pornographic image on my phone. It came from Alex Goddard. I want her charged with it. They are going to take the phone. They are going to do a forensic evidence examination of the phone and go from there. They have to physically have the phone to do that. They just can't download the image, download an email address, and prove anything. They have got to have possession of the device that the email came in on. There is information on there that will be specific to that phone. And I have talked about the IME number. I've talked about this number. And that number is going to be on both devices, both on All right, if I got audio, I don't know what the hell's going on here. All right, can anybody hear me now? Ugh. Testing one, yeah. My audio's working. I don't know why you guys can't hear me. But, oh well, I don't know what's going on here. Okay, there's a button on my console. I must have hit it by accident. But Dizzy Lizzy, who is a fake, by the way, it's probably a sock account, doesn't seem to know her ass from her hole in the ground. Now, Dizzy Lizzy, for all you people that don't know it, came out of the blue on a dormant Twitter account and all of a sudden said that I looked like this guy, Whitey Bulger. Now, where the hell did she get that from? Well, she got it from Timmy, Charles Bullshit Holmseth. Timmy started this. Why, I don't know. But he started it. And so here we have this picture here. Dizzy Lizzy didn't put up on her Twitter page. In fact, half the images that are on Twitter, I can't find on a Google search. I find this picture, and there's a bunch of others. But there's also a death certificate. Shows exactly when he died and how he died. October 30th, 2018. Dizzy Lizzy ought to Google. Do some research. But no, that's too easy. Because, she must have this love thing for Tim Holmseth that she would put herself in legal hot water by making these kind of accusations. Oh, that ain't going to work. So, and, they get into one thing they did on their gossip page over there is talking about a mask. What mask? There's a lot of, they do this round robin and they don't bother to get into any kind of a conversation. When they get cornered in one thing, they go bounce into something else. You can't have a conversation. They brought up some woman by the name of Sherry. I asked, who is Sherry? And I didn't find out from them. I found out from somebody else. And they're mad at the woman because she doesn't support them anymore. That's what happens to these people. If you go and have a mind of your own, they're going to pummel them. And the evidence is in their chat. Because you see, it's Merch Army, Merch what operatives. They come up with all kinds of things. They think they're accusing me of having 100 people that go over there and spam their channel and all this bull crap. And then they turn around and say nobody cares. Or nobody cares about my set. But it's the same thing every time. And they come into this chat. Some of the people in here, I got 19 people in here, and some of them are probably these people looking for things that they can type over on their Telegram page. So, and whoever Sherry is, contact me. I like to say hi. Because these people over on BitChute are having a cow for whatever reason. They don't like you at all. And they've been busy. They're accusing people of being prostitutes and everything else over there. So it's nothing new. But this is basically it. Now, you can Google the Delphi case, and as a matter of fact, there is a court TV segment they did on it just recently, so you can go to court TV and see everything there. But this is ongoing, and I'm keeping in close contact with people to see what's going to happen next. Now, checking something. Must be I'm spelling her name wrong. Let's see, when was this? All right, that's February. All right, so right now it doesn't seem like there's anything new going on. So that's that. And I'm going to check on one more thing. And that, Jolly, thanks for showing up. You have a good Labor Day weekend. As soon as I check this one thing out, I'll be closing down here in a little bit. Because I've actually ran over time a little bit. Yeah, it's funny, I sit there, they talk about stalking, and then they do a play-by-play of my room. But, what can I say? Okay. All right, what have we got? Having a problem with this search. This happened to me the last time. Let me bring this over here a little bit. Man, but for people that don't care about my channel, they sure love talking about it. Oh, that's wow. Picky little thing. There we go. Okay, I checked on the Blanchard case. There's nothing new. So we're probably not going to hear anything about this case until October. Okay, task force is here. Yeah, well, you finally got to see the inside of my trailer. Task force, you all wet now that you've seen the inside of my trailer? Yeah, that's the funny thing. I haven't seen the inside of your residence. I mean, now that you see, I've shown you mine, show me yours. And task force, who are you, by the way? I've been told by the people over in Telegram that you're a fraud, that you're not who you say you are. You're just uh, an impersonator. So, Task Force, how do we know who you are? Hey, you're quite welcome, Kingfish. Hey, Kingfish, you just made the terrorist site. Gotta love these people. Yeah, they sit there and they say, "Oh, you people are stalking us." And what do? They do screenshots in my room. What a bunch of hypocrites. Yeah, well, that's okay because they're saying it's Levi. It's like, oh, that's Levi Page. I mean, Levi Page is everybody. Can't prove it, of course. It's just like this Compton character. She can't even prove she's real. Yeah, you do a Google search on Elizabeth Ann Compton, you're gonna get an actress. Doesn't even look like the woman in the image. And the image that Compton uses is a stock image from from an advertising site. I think it was her fingernails or something. I don't know. And the background in the image is a paint sampling company. Kind of weird. But they sit there and they'll spend the entire time that I'm on the air commenting about my channel, and then they'll say, "We don't care. We don't care about your channel at all. No, we just like commenting about it. We sit there and watch your channel. We take screenshots and do all kinds of stuff." No, he used a different name. Elizabeth Ann Compton is, I think it is Timmy behind that account. But, and the thing about Google or about the internet is you can use any name you want, but proving who you are is the difficult part. So, but that's true. They got a bunch of these sock accounts over there. These people, you don't know who's real and who's not. And and they say over and over again, we don't care about Mert. We got our own thing going over here. But here they are. Every time I'm on the air, I came in here to talk about this breaking news, and they came right in here and said, "Oh, I saw your trailer." Wow, whoopee woo. So they're hypocrites. What can I say? But the main thing I came in here is that the Delphi case is gaining traction. And they may actually solve it. And it won't be Tim Holmseth that does it. It'll be for real police, for real investigators. They'll be the ones to solve it. And Timmy can go ahead and run around, take pictures in front of more signs. Maybe he'll get Randi to finally put herself in a picture with him. And maybe Randi can explain what she's doing interviewing relatives of Levi Page. Now that is stalking. If I went up to Minnesota and interviewed her husband, she'd go through the roof. Or her daughters, or maybe an aunt or an uncle. She wouldn't go for that at all. Yet she can go down hundreds of miles away from her house and accuse Levi Page of something he's not guilty of to a blood relative. That's the kind of person Randi is. Weird. I didn't. But it's one of these deals, I mean, you're not going to stop this crap over on Telegram. They're going to keep this up. Oh, there's one other thing I forgot. I don't know if I mentioned this or not. What do we got here? Thank you. I should have looked at that. But there's one other thing. I don't know which one of these it's in. But yeah, I may have mentioned this one. I'm going to mention it again because pay close attention to this headline. Breaking news. Small vagina photo tested to Minnesota judge was part of an extortion and murder plot connected to the FBI and the Department of Justice. Where's the police report about this one? Is this what they told the TBI? And notice he says small. He's done this several times. Small, 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 small. Now, if this is an image of an adult, ow! God damn! Kittens have sharp claws. Socks, what are you doing? Huh? Mittens, socks, whatever you want to call it. Cut that out. Things got razor blades for claws, man. So, yeah, they don't talk about this. I mean, they'd rather gossip. But why is Holmseth being so specific about an image that he claims he has not seen? See, this is the important part here. He has said, I did not see the image. It was described to me. Now, I don't recall seeing a degree for forensic science from Mr. Holmseth. So, and if he did not see the image, why is he describing it? I mean, was Randi that certain? Oh, it's a small, it's small. It's implying that it's a child. I don't care how many times Holmseth denies it. It is a child. Either that or it's a midget or a small person. But then it goes on, and gets into the public hair thing. No public hair. You take small and you take public hair, that's puberty. Child again. And how old was Summer Wells when she vanished? But this is how Timmy constantly wiggles out of things. He says things with a question mark, and he doesn't directly say anything. He kind of beats around the bush a little bit. So he can come back and say, oh, I didn't say that. Yeah, I put up 20 pictures of the wanted poster for Summer Wells, but I'm not, this has nothing to do with Summer Wells. I went to the TBI, but this has nothing to do with Summer Wells. And these people over there in Telegram don't understand that. They don't want to understand that because then they would have to admit that they're following a false whatever he is. They're following someone that says that he is a investigative reporter, and he is not. Timothy Holmseth doesn't investigate anything. He goes around and he plagiarizes stuff from other people and then adapts it to his own narrative. They're saying that's why he had such a short career at the community newspaper, because he got caught plagiarizing. So, but people can say what they want. But I am going to attempt to change the format of this channel. I'm going to start discussing cases of interest. There are a number of cases that are in the news, and I am, just for shits and giggles, going to get in to Mr. Bolger and why this guy is dead. So, You know, stay tuned for that one. Because Holmseth is worthless. He's not even worth 2 syllables. He's a waste of time. They come in here in this channel because they need the attention. If they did not need me for building up Timmy or getting his information out there, they wouldn't be here. But they come here and they are obsessed with this channel. So, and then they go over there. All they can talk about over on Telegram is me. Constantly. Me, 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 me. Elizabeth Compton starts this nonsense. Timmy starts the nonsense. You go on Timmy's blog, he's got a whole section with my name on it. He's got 100 articles about me that he's written since 2010. And there's 200 to 300 YouTube videos that he made that got struck by YouTube because he violated their terms of service. He can no longer go on YouTube. He cannot go on Facebook. So he has to come over to the Twilight Zone at BitChute and at Telegram, who have virtually no moderation at all. They allow defamation, copyright violations, all of it. They don't care because they're making money. Telegram is making millions upon millions of dollars off of these people and jeopardizing their security. They just don't realize it. Well, the thing of it is with the exception of any court case having to do with Holmseth, I'm not going to be talking about him that much anymore because it's everybody knows he's an idiot. And all they do is they go over there and see this crap like Whitey Bulger. They're gonna think these people are nuts because I've had a flood of people tell me that they realize this guy's crazy. You've got a guy says he's third in line to the president of the United States. Who's Mr. In Between? It used to be David Street. Not anymore. And most of what Holmseth does is he goes around and he takes selfies of a building, selfies of him in front of a yacht, goes and begs for a $40,000 car. He's got 3 separate charities set up. One to buy himself a $40,000 car. The other one is, I guess it's expenses or something. And then he's got this thing about Donald Trump that for some reason he needs thousands of dollars to get information to Donald Trump when he's the third man from Donald Trump. He should be able to pick up the phone, call Mar-a-Lago and say, hey, Donnie, I got something I need to talk to you about. And Trump will say, come on down. Or come over to Pennsylvania because I'm going to be in Pennsylvania. Meet me over there. If you're over in Tennessee, it's not that long of a drive. Just get on the interstate and haul ass east. So, it's a phony. And he's raking in the money based on lies. And these people over on Telegram are defending him. It's, it's funny. I love it. But that's going to be the end of that one. Because when he gets arrested, and that's a win, I'll report on it. And on September 21st, I'll report on whether or not he shows up along with his girlfriend in Ohio. They're not going to show up. You can bet on that one. Because, number one, if they show up in Ohio, they're going to get arrested because of the charges. Number two, if they don't show up, they got another warrant for their arrest. And then there's going to be another hearing in October, and that may get bumped up to a felony. So there's that. But now they're calling me Astro. That reminds me. I'm gonna do a. I got delayed in it, but I got a video standing by to put up. It's called The Bribe, and this is a funny one. These people over there, they actually are helping Astro, and they don't realize it. I don't know why they pick on Astro, because Astro's their friend. But they don't like Astro. I don't get it. And, Astro is Mert Punisher. Astro is Dan Ubeinland. Astro was this Watcher. They're all these people. I know it because she comes in, when she creates these names, she comes in to direct message and talks about it. So I know it's her. I've got I've got the entire chat. Astro has created 15 fake accounts and then deleted them all. She comes in, she'll stay around a couple days, and she leaves. So they have stuff. Astro has all this stuff that she sends them, but the only thing that happens is when she deletes her account, it all goes away. Except where it gets archived. Oh, there you are, Punisher. But I don't get these people. Oh, but see, this is a thing. You see, that's a clique over there. There's only a few people allowed in this group. If you're an outsider and you come in, you're not welcome. And if you come in and try to disagree with this group, then the shit hits the fan. You start getting outed, you start getting accused. And that's how these people operate. I don't require people to believe everything I say here. You use your own common sense. You decide for yourself. All I do is I come in this room and I speak my piece. I say, this is what's happened, and so forth. Now, this is where Timmy has some explaining to do. He declares that the picture that was allegedly sent to Randy Erickson is not Summer Wells. But what's with this? Connected to the case of Summer Wells. Kind of interesting correlation here. He's saying, well, she is connected to the case of Summer Wells. She sent a picture to Randy Erickson, but it's not Summer Wells. We can't determine it's Summer Wells. We don't know who it is. And so they take the thing to the TBI, further stating by doing that it's Summer Wells. And then they whine when I say, yeah. And there's a whole bunch of these things. Articles on the blog and over on his channel, BitChute, and on various social media sites where he is correlating that picture to Summer Wells. Now, he can sit there and say that he didn't come out and say, oh, I didn't say that that picture was Summer Wells, yet here we are, connecting Summer Wells to that image by accusing Goddard of sending the image. No proof. No documentation from the TBI saying that they received that picture. No confirmation from the TBI that describes what's in the picture. Zero, nothing, zilch. He may have spoken to TBI, but they're going to tell him, say, take the damn thing to the FBI or take it to your home law enforcement. We can't do anything with it. There is no direct correlation to our case. Now, I'm going to make something perfectly clear here. So these people over on Telegram maybe can get it through their thick, fat heads. When I am talking about an article like the Delphi murders and so forth, I don't like people coming in here and going off on topic saying they saw my trailer or some other thing. This is not a democracy. This is my channel. Now, you can watch the channel, and then if you want, you can go over on your Telegram account and you can sit there and clickety clickety all night long. But you're not going to troll this channel. And and what I don't understand about these people is I made the announcement last night. I said I am not going to be commenting on Telegram anymore on your channel. And I told you people to stay off my chat. Don't come into my chat. And I specifically said, you will be blocked. Now, I don't know if Canadians have a different English language or that this person over there only speaks Canadian French or something, but she apparently cannot read the English language as put down in the United States. And that seems to go for all these other people. They don't understand that I have the right to determine who comes in this room and who can chat. So if you don't like it, you can stick it where the sun don't shine. You've got your Telegram, you've got your BitChute, you've got Gab, Tinder, and all these other programs. Go over there and knock yourself out. You people say you don't care about me, that no, you're not important or anything. But then you go over and it's nothing but as long as I'm on the air, it's me and only me, except for all the spam. And oh, I like this. I like this. No one is in there, you moron. Well, now they're not because they got blocked. But Task Force was in here. This other bimbo is in here. And you people are watching every word I say on here. So you're lying. But again, fine. If you're not in here, fine. Stay the hell out. You've got Telegram to do your running commentary, so knock yourself out over there. Because, you guys worship Holmseth, you make love to him on the phone, you make all kinds of interesting comments. So, fine, go knock yourself out. But stay out of here. It's funny. This would all be solved if these people did one simple thing. And it's just, leave me alone. Don't talk about me anymore. Singles or Holmseth, knock it off. But Holmseth can't. because he needs the drama. You know, Holmseth is the one that started all of this. You know, I was minding my own business. I was doing my streams. Like a matter of fact, for 5.5 years, I wasn't even on the internet except to play Farmville and maybe make occasional comments on Twitter. I was doing other stuff. And then all of a sudden, Timmy comes out of nowhere and starts up on me again. And then I'm supposed to sit back and ignore it. You know, he's calling me a rapist. He's calling me a murderer. You know, Tim Holmseth has accused me of murdering a dozen children. He's got me involved in the Delphi murder case. We all know about that one. Right up during this latest development, he has never once mentioned Klein and his connection to the Delphi murders. Not once. And if you look at the picture of Klein and take a look at the picture of the composite drawing they did of the chubby guy, they're practically twins. And the same goes for his father, because Klein's father's implicated in this as well. But Timmy refuses to report that. And these people don't care. Oh. And they do stupid shit. They don't care about the truth. They just care about bullshit. The kind of bullshit that, and they interfere with legitimate law cases. Calling the state of Ohio, wasting a sheriff's time with bullshit. You didn't even call the right agency. And she knows who the right agency is. I'm still not understanding why she called the county sheriff. The county sheriff can't do anything. He doesn't have jurisdiction over Alex Goddard because she doesn't live in his jurisdiction. She lives within the city limits. So it's the city police department that would need to have been told. But even then, I have to keep repeating this so these people get it through their thick heads. It has got to go to the law enforcement agency of the victim. In this case, Randi Erickson. She got sent the picture, allegedly. So she has to go to her law enforcement, whether it be the city, county, or state. In her case, she lives in the county, or the state of Minnesota, or the FBI, not the state of Ohio. And again, the law enforcement agency is going to want to see the phone or the computer that the picture was sent on. Because again, there is information on the device that they need. They're not going to get it from the picture. They're not going to get it from a copy of the email. They're going to get it from the device. No, Mert Punisher, they don't. I've talked to the sheriff. So, these people know nothing about anything. And the guy told her that. It's on the phone call that she made. Talk to the FBI. Right there. He said, we don't handle it. You got to go to the FBI. Whether it was an email or a text message through the phone, it's not exactly clear how that image was transmitted. Was it done through a phone? Was it done through an email? Now remember, she has accused Goddard of sending her emails. So any evidence that Randi has on her device needs to be turned over to law enforcement, no matter what it is. Not to a county sheriff in another state. Now, Randi lives in this situation. She lives in a county. She doesn't live within the city limits of the town she resides in. She lives in the county. Now, if she lived in the city, she would go to the city. And this is the situation here. She has to go to where she lives and file the police report, or she goes to the state of Minnesota or to the FBI. One of them or all of them. Take your pick. Perfect example that, I get the biggest kick out of these know-it-alls on Telegram. Now, I have a residential address. It's the city of Apopka, Florida. And guess what? I don't live in the city limits of Apopka. I live in Orange County, Florida. If you call the Apopka Police Department to file a complaint against me, they're going to say, you got to go to Orange County. He doesn't live in Apopka. He lives in West Orange County. We don't have jurisdiction. If I have to call a criminal complaint to come to my house, I don't call the Apopka Police Department. I call the Orange County. And it's the reverse. If I lived in Apopka, then it's Apopka that's in jurisdiction, not Orange County. Orange County cannot go to Apopka to investigate a crime unless they notify Apopka. They just can't go marching into Apopka and arrest somebody on something that happened at Apopka. The Apopka Police Department has to get involved. And this is what these people don't realize. There's separate jurisdictions for cities and counties. And if you live in an unincorporated county or area like I do, that means that I am not within the municipality of Apopka, Florida. Now, why do I have an Apopka address? Because it's the closest post office that serves this area. The post office is in Apopka. It's not in Orange County, it's in Apopka. And that's the way Florida separates their postal addresses. Because when I lived in Lake County, I didn't live within the city limits of anything, but I had a mailbox address in the nearest town, which was Sorrento. And if something happened in Sorrento, it's Lake County. Sorrento doesn't even have a police department. It's an unincorporated village. So in that case, Lake County handles Sorrento. Now, when I was down in Orlando, yeah, I was in the city of Orlando. When I lived in Pine Hills, we went back to the old situation. Pine Hills is not in the city of Orlando. It's a municipality, and the jurisdiction falls to the Orange County Sheriff's Department. And again, TBI may have it. There's no proof they have it. All we have is their word for it. But it is not TBI's jurisdiction. If that picture is not Summer Wells, they have no jurisdiction. They would turn it over to another agency, the FBI. This is what these people do not understand. They think just because Timmy and Randi marched down to one of the offices in Tennessee and did a boo-hoo about this picture, that TBI is automatically going to look into it. Because where is the connection to Summer Wells' case? If that picture is not Summer Wells, there's no connection to the case. None. Zero. This accusation that people are involved in child trafficking ain't going to cut it, because that's an allegation. That's not proof. TBI is going to say, you need to march your asses back to Minnesota or march yourself to the FBI and report it to them. Now, if you want us to keep a copy of the picture, well, fine, we'll do it. We'll turn it over to our forensics people and let them look at it. But remember, Timmy has said it is not Summer Wells. He told me he got on his channel and says, I'm going to tell the TBI I never said that this was Summer Wells. Even though I'm sitting in your office, that's not Summer Wells. I don't know who it is. Again, you're wasting the law enforcement's time with this crap. They are trying to find out what happened to this kid. And when you come in here with this malarkey, you take 3 investigators off the case because they got to listen to your nonsense. And so, more delays. What happened to this child? Well, they're not going to find out with a couple of conspiracy nuts bothering state investigators with crap. But they didn't, we'll sit back, see what happens. And I'll be curious as hell to see what happens. But it's going to be like everything else. This is a repeat of what happened with Timmy's barging into the Waterley case. Nothing happened. Now, again, we get back to Delphi a little bit. There was a CNN thing come out, or not CNN, but Court TV, and it's all Mr. Klein and his connection to the case. It's a 29-minute video because basically it's their show. So get the link to Court TV, go watch it, and it's right there. Mr. Klein is logically the primary suspect. The guy lives within an hour's drive of the town. He's been to the town. He created the Anthony Shots account using a policeman, of all things, as his profile. Made up all kinds of shit. He's a wealthy playboy, 6-pack, looking for some funds, blah, 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 blah. He contacts these 2 girls, or one of them, the day before they're killed. The day before. He admits it. They take his phones, and it's full of pornography, child pornography. Chock full of it. They've got all this Anthony Shots stuff. And they go on and on and on about Mr. Klein. He's in prison. He's going to go on trial. Right now, the prosecutor and the defense are negotiating. What are they negotiating? See, this is what I'm trying to figure out here. Well, what does Timmy do? He says, I look like the bridge guy. Fireman looks like the bridge guy. Does not mention Klein once. And Klein came out almost the day these girls went missing, within a day or 2, as the primary person of interest in this case. Nobody else, with one exception. But it's a guy from Indiana that allegedly tried to kidnap another girl from the same area. So, why aren't they talking about Mr. Klein? Why aren't they talking about Mr. Klein's father? Why aren't they talking about the lost cell phone that Mr. Klein said he can't find? Why aren't they talking about Klein's trip to Las Vegas? Because it destroys their narrative. It's the truth that it's a local person that law enforcement's looking for. They're not looking for someone from out of state. They are looking for someone that has had contact with these young girls. And this man right here, Klein, has admitted to that. He's a man that's got a history of child pornography and inappropriate conversations with teenage girls. That's who they should be discussing over there. What's the deal with Mr. Klein? Because maybe if they started doing some actual research, like the bloggers who report stuff like this, maybe they'd solve that case. They're not going to solve a case by doing a selfie in front of a sign. Because that's all he did. He passed through town, he took a selfie in front of a sign and left. So, but, and they have, the only other suspect they had for a while was the guy that owned the property. Now, this is something else to wonder about. All right, you've got two young athletic teenagers. I mean, the one of them was into sports. Here's a guy that's on the plumpy side. I think he was like 25, 27 years old when he was arrested. How did he manage to get two teenage girls to follow his orders and not have one or both of them take off like a bat out of hell? I mean, he's overweight. He's probably not in the best physical condition. They could outrun the guy. But maybe, just maybe, they already knew him. He's familiar to him. He's talked to him on the Anthony Shots account. Maybe they were supposed to meet there. And he said, oh, let's go down and bullshit for a while. Come on down here. Come on down here. Took him down to the bottom of the hill. Next thing you know, he did something to disable both of them. You look at situations like that when trying to evaluate something like this. How did this guy manage to kill two teenage girls? They weren't disabled. They weren't weak. He didn't drug them. It's because he knew them. They knew him. They trusted him to an extent. Now, this bridge guy may have been somebody completely different that just happened to be going through. Or it may have been him coming up to meet him. And no, they don't discuss this. They don't discuss and try and solve the case. They, for whatever reason, want to, diversify. Now, if we want to play this game, what was Tim Holmseth doing in Delphi, Indiana? How did Tim Holmseth know about getting around Delphi, Indiana? Has he been there before? Is Tim Holmseth the bridge guy? I mean, there's a side-by-side of Tim Holmseth and the bridge guy composite, and they look almost exactly alike. So maybe they need to be looking at Tim Holmseth if they're going to go down this route. It's the most logical person that is guilty of this crime or could be charged is Mr. Klein. But, they don't want to do that. Now, this could be Klein's father because there's been implications that Klein's father had something to do with these things. Klein has even admitted it. He said, my father may have accessed my phone. So maybe his father did it, or maybe they both did it. But the Indiana State Police, as well as the prosecutor's office, is negotiating with Mr. Klein. Now, if Mr. Klein was not the primary person of interest here, why are they negotiating with him? Why did the Indiana State Police take custody of Mr. Klein? If it's the child pornography thing, that's pretty well down the road. They're getting ready for trial. And they wouldn't need to take Mr. Klein into custody to question him about the pornography because they already got all the evidence. And it would be between the two lawyers, the defense and the prosecution, to work out details. But they needed Mr. Klein. Why? And this is what we're going to be watching to find out, to understand why Mr. Klein needs to be in the custody of the Indiana State Police and why Mr. Klein is negotiating with the authorities. Maybe, just maybe, he's about to confess to the murder of these two teenagers. And, you know, what's going to happen to the conspiracy tin hats if Mr. Klein confesses to the murder of these kids? You know, they kind of come up with some kind of conspiracy theory to cover their asses to say, oh, there's a plot to frame this guy. I mean, they did it with the Blanchard case. You know, they cannot and will not accept the truth. They have to come up with this malarkey for whatever reason. It's a strange bunch. And the only thing they're doing is people with common sense that read that stuff on Telegram are going to dismiss them as nuts because that's what they are. So I would suspect that in the next couple of weeks, we're going to start hearing more about Delphi. And there is the best source of information about the Delphi is a blog that is covering them. I don't have it off the top of my head, but they are the ones that have been following this case from day one. And they don't get into madcap tin hat theories and getting into nonsense. They actually are trying to be accurate on what they report. And they're probably the best blog and YouTube channel that I've seen in a long time that are doing actual investigative reporting, not getting involved in soap operas on a ultra right wing chat. Now, what happened was the mittens disconnected my router. So I think what I'm going to do at this point is call it a night. I say one thing I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to cat proof. But, they are looking for either a hard drive or a cell phone. And if they find that, they probably will be able to connect this to Mr. Klein. And Mr. Klein will get charged for the crime. And what I want to see, which is one of the reasons I want this case solved, is what these people over on Telegram do when they find out that they were wrong. That it was not me there. I have never been to Delphi, Indiana. And, they'll come up with some excuse because they will not admit they're wrong. If Klein confesses to the murder or they find out the real culprit here and it goes on trial and they're convicted and it's not me, what are they going to do? They have invested all this time in accusing me of having something to do with this crime. They're going to have a problem. So, but no, they'll continue the Whitey Bulger bullshit. They'll continue all this other stuff because they cannot tell the truth. They simply cannot. They are the Weekly World News and the Globe of the internet. They do not give a damn about children. They don't care about child trafficking. They don't care about child abuse. None of it. All they care about is rumor mongering, gaslighting, trolling. That's all they live for. These people are not serious. They are clowns. And people are starting to realize, people go into their social media sites and see the crap that they're writing about, and they leave. There's only, as far as regular chatters over there, I think there's maybe 5. And and 90% of the stuff on Telegram is spam. They'll load up 9, 10, 12 links to the same site, and it clogs up their chat. So, and all it is a moneymaker for Telegram. Because they don't care. These people are nuts. They don't care. It's dollar signs. They sell their information that's given to them to telemarketers, $1 a pop. And they have advertisers that come in. They sell, they make millions and millions and millions of dollars on advertising. They look at this as a golden goose because these people are not serious. So I think, and it's a damn good possibility, that Klein is going to confess, or at least come up with the answers law enforcement's looking for. Because you have to use your logic here. Why is the Indiana State Police talking to him right now? Why is his lawyer and the prosecution negotiating. This man was supposed to go on trial next week. He was supposed to be in court the end of August for a pretrial conference. They continued that, and it was explicitly said in court, it is because Delphi State Police wants to talk to him again, and there are negotiations going on. And so again, I am curious as to what these people over on Telegram are going to do if Mr. Klein is adjudicated guilty for the murder of these two teenagers, and it was only him or perhaps his father or someone he knows involved. Nobody else. And these people over on Telegram have not considered this guy who has tons of child pornography on his devices. He has confessed to it. He's in jail for it. But they don't even consider this guy as a suspect. They completely ignore him. Tim Holmseth has not said one single word about Mr. Klein. Not one. That is not an investigative reporting. That's, he's not an investigative reporting because he should have been considering Klein from the beginning. He should have looked into Mr. Klein's background and studied him and studied the fact that this is a local individual that knows every blade of grass in Delphi, Indiana. He's been there countless times. He's admitted to being there. He's admitted to talking to one of the girls. I mean, how much do you need to concentrate on this guy? I don't understand these people, unless, of course, they don't care. They are not interested in the truth. They just want to troll people and annoy them with crap. And then they go over to TBI and do the same thing and waste taste back. They don't care about Summer Wells. They could give a damn if she's found or not. They probably prefer she's not be found. Because if they find Summer Wells and they convict the person who is really responsible for her disappearance, they ain't got shit. The case is over. It's closed, solved. So they're going to have to come up with something else. That's all they do. They're not out to solve a damn thing. They're not out to save children or anything. They're just out to blow hot air. So, I don't know who that is. But what can I say? That man on the left, right there, is person of interest. They are honing in on him. What they're looking for in Wabash River is his hard drive. Not anybody else's, his. Because remember, if you go back to the beginning of the case and read it, he lost a cell phone. There's stuff in his house, computer hard drives and stuff that's missing. He only lives a short distance from that bridge. That's where he lives. This isn't in Delphi where they're doing the search. This is down where he lives in Peru, Indiana, in Miami County. Do your due diligence here, folks. Read. Now, Google the case and read it from day one. His name came up. The Anthony shots came up. Police are asking anyone who has had communication with Anthony Shots through his internet connection, his page, to come forward. Because they believe that Klein has been in contact with a lot of young girls. And there may be more murdered girls out there. But, if you want to find out legitimate news on these cases, don't go to Telegram. Go to Web Sleuths, go to the local media that's covering these cases, and the particular web blogs there that are covering this case, and you'll get actual, genuine reporting. Hello, Levi. But these weird conspiracy theory blogs are not going to give you the answers you need. They're going to give you malarkey. They're going to give you JFK's alive. They're going to give you fish people, lizard people, clone kids, all kinds of crap. They're worthless. I don't understand what's this. Yeah, Klein only lives an hour away, 40 some miles. That's the distance from my house to the Orlando International Airport. Hour away. A lot of people commute to work. Hour away. So he's considered local. I mean, it's a very rural area out there. The towns are not that big. It's in the middle of farm country. Indianapolis is the nearest big town. I'm not sure how far that is away, but it's not a heavily populated state. And the fact that he lives that close to Delphi and his history, this is what they're ignoring about Mr. Klein, his history. And yes, he's in jail. For what? Child pornography. What did he do just before he got put in jail? Communicated with one of the teenagers that was murdered. This is something they are ignoring. Klein communicated with one of the girls. Had been communicating with her for a while, right up until the day before she was murdered. And yet they are putting all their chips on a retired truck driver that lives 1,200 miles away. That can prove that he was never in Delphi, Indiana, especially around the time these young ladies were murdered. But that doesn't fit their narrative. That's if they consider the facts, then they know they're wrong. They say, "Ooh, God, it can't be him. He's never even there." But strangely enough, Tim Holmseth was there. He's the only, he was in Delphi, Indiana. He knows how to get there. Kind of odd. He shows up at an unsolved murder within 2 miles of the murder scene. They say sometimes the murderer comes back to the scene of the crime. Is that what's going on here? I kind of wonder, where was Tim Holmseth when these 2 girls were murdered? Can he prove where he was the day these girls were murdered? Mittens, socks, go. Ah! Go. That cat. Kittens. But and they now, it's just a wait and see thing. They need to figure out how Klein fits into this. And The funny thing about this is people are actually defending this guy. They are defending a pedophile. Imagine that. This guy is a pedophile. This is, people get on the internet and say, oh, they ought to execute pedophiles. They ought to cut their dick off, blah, blah, blah. And they're defending the guy. What the hell's with these people? This is why you can't rely on him for anything. Timmy is no investigative reporter. He's just a gossip queen. He deals in bullshit. Because no way in hell should anybody be defending a known pedophile. And that's what they're doing. But you can't reason with these people. You can't agree to disagree and say, okay, you believe one thing, this is something else. They have to falsely accuse people that have absolutely nothing to do with any of this. That people that are trying to live their own lives, live normal lives, now have to contend with this kind of bullshit. Because these people are hateful, they are liars, they are frauds. I don't know what they are. They certainly don't have a conscience. And the problem with these people, you see, it's like this Whitey Bulger thing. DNA. It doesn't matter what it is. DNA. It'll either rule you in or it'll rule you out. So, but they are defending Klein. They may say they're not, but their posts prove otherwise. The fact that they are still spewing bullshit proves it. So, when people want to follow these cases, find reliable, consistent sources of information. Local TV, radio, newspapers, respected bloggers, YouTube channels, podcasters. But don't look to Telegram because you're not going to find anything there. It's going to be tin hats, wild conspiracy theories, downright lies, slander, and defamation. That's all that's over there. It's just an absolute worthless endeavor to have anything to do with Telegram. So, that's it for tonight, folks. I appreciate you tuning in. I went over time, but it is what it is. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and share. And I'll see what comes up next week. I have a couple things that I may get into. If there's anything that develops with the Delphi murders or with the Wells case, and a couple of other things that I'm following here, I'll let you all know. But right now, just enjoy your weekend. Have a good time and see you next week. And have a good one. Good night, all.